Today, I'm going to show you the whole process I used for doing this mixed media collage. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of some of the pictures that I got for my steampunk magazine collage. And I wanted to, when I started, I didn't understand how people found all these amazing images and where they came from, start to finish. So I'm gonna do a whole start to finish from picking the images to showing them together to kind of laying them out and all that stuff. So this is a Better Homes and Gardens book, 2020, so this is current. I think I have a subscription to them. And I picked this circle, and then maybe some of these other things because I'm doing a steampunk theme. So I need some really pretty colors. Oh my gosh. For me, steampunk is like lace and that, but these aren't grungy, right? And then I saw this for the color red and I thought that would be really cool. So those are my Better Homes and Gardens first ones. And then I saw this all recipes, and I am going to take out the letters, right? So I'm gonna use the letters for steampunk, and that's all I ripped these out for. Now, I'll give you a hint. When I first started, I thought, oh my gosh, I need to save every little thing. I can't throw anything away. I'm telling you, I will cut out those letters and throw the rest of it away. There's always more pictures. So I thought this was a beautiful color. So if you're doing, I'm going to be doing mostly red, lots of black, and I need some contrasting colors. So I know I'm going to be using some green. So I saw that, and then I thought, oh, this would be really cool as a background piece. And this is from Southern Living, and I think I got that when I was at a conference. So that's Southern Living magazine. This one is All Recipes, the Trends issue. All right, remember I told you I wanted some green, so I'm gonna use this green and then maybe cut out this little frilly pick. And then here's some more red background images, right? Those are gonna be awesome for that. And then we have this. I thought maybe I could use that circle, and that's from Birds in Bloom. And I didn't find any birds or blooms I wanted, but I did find this cool advertisement. A lot of times you can find fun stuff in advertisement. Martha, this is a current one I have, and I was going to cut out, there's one inside of all these pictures, but then I saw these kind of shabby roses, and I thought those would be perfect. Martha Stewart Living was that one. All right, now we're getting to the ones that I love. This is Vogue Jennifer Lawrence. You can tell how young she looks. This is 2015, and the first thing I saw was this. I thought, oh my gosh, for some gold and some fancy bits, that's going to be great. And then I saw these, but on the back of this is this dress. So I'm not sure which I'm gonna use. That was an either or. And then I saw this gold bracelet thingy. And then these glasses, I was like, okay, I was in love. I wanted to kind of sort of work everything around those glasses. So now I have to find a face to go with the glasses, right? And you want your face to be about the same size. So these ladies have the same size face, but I don't want, like, I thought this lady with the wrinkles and the gray hair was really cool, that it might provide a contrast. But I also found this girl who's super steampunky, right? And that black and white may be perfect. Either way, I have folders that I can put these in if I don't use them this time. So I have a people faces folder so I can figure out what I'm gonna do. And some of those may have, this is from L, so the next two are from L. And you can get really desperate. Like I was starting to find this face and I'm going, you know, are those glasses right for this face? And you can start to really feel desperate, but you need to stop and just keep going and know through the process that you're gonna find the right thing. I found this hat that I thought was amazing. And I wish I could keep the hat and the glasses. Maybe I can cut out enough to keep the bottom of the glasses because that'll be good in another piece. And then this is just outstanding. That's a jewelry piece, and those are both from Elle. One's older and one's newer. One's 2020 and one is 2020. They're different sizes. All right, God bless us. And then I found it. Look at her. She was in another Elle magazine. She is amazing, and so I'm going to use her. And where's my glasses? And probably use my glasses. And that is going to, like, they're just enough the wrong size that it'll make it seem weird, right? And I may even be able to put that hat on. I can always, you know, kind of make her face go in through shading and stuff. But this is going to be amazing. And that collar, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. And this is going to be fun to cut out. So now I'm going to go do fussy cutting. People always ask what fussy cutting is. Fussy cutting is cutting out around all these different pieces. So that'll be the next step. All right, so now we're going to use, I'm using a Diane Reevely journal. And so these are the, I always like to do spreads. A lot of people do one side or the other. And I haven't really messed around with what we've cut out so far. And so this is the composition part. This is where we want to start thinking about what the piece will look like generally overall without even knowing what the background's going to be. I know a lot of people do backgrounds first, but I do my composition first, so I know what color backgrounds I want. Do I want a contrast? Do I want it to be a similar color? Do I want one side to be darker? Whatever. So, like I said, I didn't try this at all. So we're gonna have a couple different girls going on. So first off, I love this girl. And she is pretty much just the right size. I could even do a border. I don't like her hair. I would make it come out and come like a little bit more contained, but I love that she fits kind of on this page, and then I can do something else over here. But she's not the girl for the project that I'm going to be doing this time. This time, I was focusing on these sunglasses. That's where I started, and I love that. And so I cut out some ladies. This is the bottom of the sunglasses. This is the hat. If you remember, we had a hat. So we'll keep going with this. I have this giant piece. So now we're into like colors. Are we going to use, and with steampunk, a lot of times I will use a lot of metals and things like that. So this lady, she fits almost perfectly too, right? And I tried the glasses on her, and I think she could be wicked cool. She could definitely do it. We could get her on here. We could have something going on over here. Her neck's kind of weird because she had a hand there, but we could make this her, like, do something there. And I'm also looking at making like a crown of a lady on the top, and if I wanted to do that, then I could have her up there. So she's really cool. Let me find that hat. So the hat doesn't work on any of my ladies. See, if you look at the sunglasses and then how wide the hat is, the sunglasses would be much wider than the face. See how the hat lady was smaller to begin with? So dimensionally, I don't think the hat is right for this project, so we're gonna keep that off to the side. And you can't fall in love. This is kind of like going thrift store shopping. You can't go with an idea in mind if you're gonna be using collage material, because things could change as you go. All right, this is okay. I can live with this, but I also have this lady, okay, with all her spiky bits, which I absolutely adore. And then look at the glasses. They kind of take her back, right? Kind of really, what you want is if you're doing this kind of collage, is something that really kind of, you go, what? That doesn't look exactly right. And those glasses actually fit very well on her face. If you had the stems of the glasses, they would probably go on her ears. We're going to talk about ears. Because when I was doing this, I almost feel like I want to use her with the crown. And I want to have like stuff coming out of the crown. So I might even, you know, pull this down a little bit further and have stuff coming out of her crown, lose some of my spiky bits. I don't know if you can see them when I get down there, but lose some of her spiky bits. But then you see that I'm going to have to cut her face down, right? Like I'm gonna have to make her face start about here, which is fine. I can do that by cutting it off here and cutting it off here and making her face really skinny. But you wanna move her ears in too, because this is the thing about making this realistic is if humans have ears, and if I just had her sitting there with no ears, you would be like, you wouldn't know why it bothered you, but it wouldn't be as believable as it is. So I really think, I like the idea of, and I'll probably move that crown down so I have even more room, like make sure it's almost sitting closer to the glasses. Like she has a large forehead. I don't need that much forehead. So we're gonna do that. Now, the other thing you wanna think about when you're making a collage is dark things are heavier than light things. So if we look at two different sets of flowers, if you have dark around your flowers or you have dark flowers, those feel heavier than light flowers do. So I would always, you know, put lighter things at the top and darker things at the bottom. And I have some flowers I could use up there. I cut out these little gold things, so we have gold things we can use. We have our eggs. Those are kind of funky, huh? So I'm not sure yet what's going on over here. And because I do 2-page spreads, I need to have something to focus on this side. Now this piece of metal may be enough to focus on for that other side. And I do have some larger things that I could, like could I do something like that? I wonder if I could do something with my eggs. Oh, I don't like that at all. That was terrible. I do have another gold ring. So the more, so what I want to do with this is I want to have my focus piece, and then I want to have like elements going on. So you'll notice I'm over here pulling out the gold stuff, and I probably will get rid of this silver thing unless it is amazing, because it really is not matching. Like you want things, go back to Sesame Street. Which thing is not like the others, right? And so, but I also have some really cool things over here that are colors. So I need to get more color into this. And I could definitely use, and this is gonna be so funny, you're gonna laugh at this, but I could use vegetables as kind of a background to get some red in there. I love that for little, like little stems, if we're gonna do some kind of flower thing over here too. Because we could always, if we wanted to, we could always make this like a bowl with flowers in it too. Right? And then we would have that element twice. I don't know if that's too much, but we could make a large flower over here. And then I had some, oh my gosh, these guys could be the stems. I have peppers. Those are super cute. Oh, I have a circle. That's a good one. I have bigger flowers. See how we can use those bigger flowers with those? And you would think you could never use an onion with flowers, but onions and flowers actually go really well together. See, these are gonna be good background pieces because they're very, they don't pop out, right? The reds are red, the lady's black, the metals are metal. But I can already see where some stuff is starting to happen. I brought out some of these for, see how that circle goes with that circle? I like to keep my shapes the same. So we have points and we have circles, and then the rings are circles. So I wouldn't want to incorporate any, like if I didn't like circles, then I would maybe do triangles, or I would maybe do squares. But I don't like triangles or squares, so I don't know that I would really put these in this one, I would probably use a lot of my circly bits. I have circle issues anyways. I cut those sort of, they were circle-ish, but I cut them to be circly. I don't know if those are gonna work. You know, I literally love these, but as you look at our color palette and what's going on, these pastels, and I have a whole ton of them, right? I have a whole ton of these. These pastels do not go with this project. Like, you can sit there and look at that and know that those pastels do not match what we have going on here. Now, the peppers, to be part of a flower arrangement or something like that, those go. And then I have more flowers. I need to get some different colored flowers because I have a lot of red, although I do want to have red. I also have pieces of red. Oh, here. So this was from around this. So I may need some red over here. If I have a lot of pink over here, I may need to pull some red over here so that she doesn't get lost. So I have those. And then I have this amazing thing that happened when I took this off of the edge. And that may not be for here, because remember we're doing circles and spiky things. Although there is a little spiky thing. That may be good for bringing some red over here. Like maybe I could put this underneath and have it kind of come off. I did try the older woman, and I liked how the glasses looked with her, but her face is, well, her face is good. I wouldn't have to cut her face down. Let's see what we think about that. Because I love this spiky lady. Just in love with her. But she could maybe be better in a stronger piece where I don't have so much going on. And I like the idea of using an older woman. And then I could even go lower, right? I don't like it lower. I like her face higher. That really, you see immediately I was like, no, that's not, she can't go lower. But she may, what do we think? Because her face is already kind of the skinniness that I wanted to achieve. And then you want to get the glasses on the bridge of her nose, right? All right, so I'm totally up in the air now. I think this lady with the weird neck is out for this one. I do have my thing, but I don't see that, like, this isn't going to match what I'm doing here. Maybe this goes with this girl, like she has a castle. Okay, anything else exciting in here? Oh, I have my leaves, so I need to get some green in here. And I have my little frilly, ooh, that's cute. I have my little frilly silver thing, and I have another, or gold thing. I have another gold thing, so that's gonna be good. I don't know where that goes yet, but can't hurt to have that. And then I have green. Green and red are complementary colors. They're across from each other on the color wheel. And I need something, right? Like I have a very monochrome palette with the red and the pink and that, so I may need some green in there. I like this on the bottom corner. Then I have some more red and a little bit of brown. And that's about what I have. Now, because we're doing steampunk, you might have noticed that it doesn't look very grungy or dingy, right? So now I need to get some texture in the back of this, and I'm using my Mod Podge. I like my little bottle, but sometimes she gets a little stiff. Oh, she's coming out. There we go. And I just want to get some different pieces of vintage paper stuck down. That's all I'm trying to do here. Is I don't have any rhyme or reason. I have a little bit of sheet music, and I have a little bit of just an old magazine. And you don't have to stick it down great because I'm going to be adding about 1,000 layers on top of this. All right, I went and got my giant bottle of Mod Podge because I have to fill up my little guy anyways. Now what you need to know is that as you go over some of these, oh, cat hair, also doesn't matter. We'll just call that texture, right? So sometimes I want to go all the way up to the edge because I want to get and I'll just tear that part off. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I have an unhappy cat. Cats hate when you won't let them play. I want to go over this edge because we know our lady's going to be over here, right? So we need some stuff happening over here. And this is what I wanted to tell you is where I kind of brush over with the Mod Podge, it's not going to accept as much color in it, right? So if you're going to paint onto this for your background, if you're going to do anything like that, you want to either deliberately Mod Podge over it or not Mod Podge over it, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. We'll cover up our piece of cat hair. You'll know it's under there, but nobody else will. I promise. I always have cat hair in my artwork because cats. We have 2 of our own, and then my mother-in-law is living with us, and she has one, so we are an oppressed people. We have to mind the oh, there's another piece of cat hair. We have to mind the kitties all the time. And I don't cover everything. I know some people like to cover everything. I like to get some different things going on here. So I'm going to do that, and now I'm going to go and I'm going to get some of my tissue paper background. Okay, I have a whole stash of tissue paper that's real tissue paper, and then jelly plate stuff that I've already done. Now I don't want anything that bright behind this lady, and I definitely, oh, these colors in here might be better. See that where we just got some stuff going on? That may be good, and I can't put it down there because I'll glue it to itself. That's more of a rainbow. I'm not looking for a rainbow today. I love this, but I'm not looking for pink, right? Because we have a lot of pink in what we're doing. We have pink and red. So I could do an orange and yellow. That would, and this stuff will glue itself to each other. So that could be pretty behind it. We'll keep that in mind. But what I'm really looking for is some blue or some brown. Okay, I kind of love that. That, ooh, and it's hooked to some blue. Okay, so the orange and the yellow are going away. The brown is staying, the blue is staying. This is too dark for what I'm thinking. Okay, this is fish scales. This is fish scales. I got some of the same thing going on. I don't want a ton of, I don't want it to be busy behind there because I have so much going on in front of it. But I do, we could turn all of these over, but I do want something to be there. Now we could go with kind of a, I have some purpley stuff, but I think I'm going to go with that brown. Ooh, maybe we could do, no, that's more yellow. So I'm going more for brown, dingy. We could maybe do that purple, but I think I'm going to stick with the blue and the brown and stick that on. So now what we're going to do, for all of you that like things to be precise, you're going to hate this. So I'm just going to go and tear this up. and put little bits of this here and there. Just the same way as we did with the papers. Okay, so I kind of love what it's gluing itself to itself, as everything always does. So I need to, remember we said that darker colors have more weight? Well, more solid colors and darker colors have more weight. So we want light to be at the top and darker to be at the bottom. Let's cover that cat here. I feel like most of what I do is covering cat hair. So we're going to put that on there. I don't care if I have wrinkles. You may care if you have wrinkles. If so, then get your wrinkles out. And I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about this because this is serious background, right? Like we have 4,000 layers that are coming on after this. So you're just going to see a little wee bit of this peeking out, and all of the wrinkles and the stuff are going to be textury when we do our next layers, right? So okay, let's keep going. That has weird corners. So you know what we're going to do with weird corners? We're going to put weird corners in the corners. Because I like corners. Now I'm not trying to line them up. I just want to give the perception that this is a little bit of a frame for that. All right, we got more corners. So we'll do this bottom corner. We'll do that. There we go. Excellent. And I don't know whether you can hear my kids and the dogs and everybody in the background, but we have a full house because the kids are home from school and Graham lives with us. And like I said, we have 3 cats. We have 3 dogs. We got critters everywhere. Okay, that looks like a top. Now I know I said dark on the top, or dark on the bottom, light on the top, but I do want something up here to give us something a little interesting to look at, and I love that color. And this guy, I always call these guys volunteers. He kind of said he wanted to be over here, so we're gonna put him right there. All right, that's good. And we've got this one. We're gonna overlap him because this is kind of gonna be the lady. So I almost want to get something behind her so that we have a frame for her. So I'm gonna put just a little bit back here. And like I said, you won't see lots of this, but we've gotta have something going on back here, or else what winds up happening if you don't have anything in the back, it becomes seriously weird later on. Like then you're trying to, you know, get texture, you're trying to get pattern, you're trying to get all this stuff in, and none of that will work because you don't have anything as kind of a base coat. And this I love, because remember, we got our lady here, so we have a little bit of brown. We have our flower bowl thingy here. We have a strip going down here. So I think this is gonna be super cool. I almost feel like, do we need another bit of, oh, look, that has a spot on it. How awesome. All right, do we need something else down? I feel like down here would be, because remember, there's not really anything down here. Let's make sure we have this, because we have corners, right? We have corners on all the other corners, but then we had this corner with almost nothing on it. So let's give him a corner, or her a corner. So this is from 1957. So I like old paper. 2 reasons: it's heavier and it has color to it. It's not white. So that's this layer. All right, this is all dried. And now we're gonna put glazing medium on, which will keep the paint from being opaque. It'll make it more translucent. And if you're normal, you could mix it up on a palette. I usually just mix it up on my artwork because I'm not that special about it. And what I want to do is I just want to go through and I want to put a little bit, I want to knock down the white. So I want to kind of give myself a blue background to work with. Because remember, we got so much red. I think that this turquoise, we could have done green. I could have done, picked up the green, kind of the citron green in there. But I decided to go with blue because blue is one of the colors that historically was in steampunk. So that's where we're going with this. All right, I am just smooshing around paint here, adding more glaze, adding more paint. I don't know why I started with such a small paintbrush. I love Dina Wakley's super wide paintbrushes, which would have made this process a lot faster, but I just grabbed the one that was around and at hand. Now it's time, this is dry, now it's time to start at least getting some of the things glued down so that we have a place to start. And this is my main focal point over here, and this is gonna be my main focal point over here. And one of the things that really makes, when you're selling collage and putting disparate things together, is having layers and layers and layers of things. And so what I've done here is I've cut this so that if I won't glue this all down, I'm just gonna glue the bottom of it down. I am gonna glue this to her head, but then I have this cut. I can always cut the back. So all I'm gonna do for her is we want it right kind of below where her weird sticky out hair is. And I'm using art glitter glue with the fine tip thing. And I'm gonna come along here and I'm gonna stick this on. So this is gonna be, it might even be a little bit lower than what I had thought, but that's okay. And it's scary, especially with your focal point, to like really start gluing stuff down. And it's already sticking. But really, when you're doing this kind of collage, you wanna just commit, right? Like you have to commit to something. And so I know, and then this, I know this is gonna be one of the main focal points. And so I wanna make, and I wanna make sure they don't get ruined because they're on a very fine, the little hooky together. So I really do wanna get these on her and get them safe. So we're gonna put those here. You wanna think about when you're doing glasses, if her ears are right there, we can see a little bit of her ears, and then the frames would have gone back over her ears, right? And that kind of works perfectly. There's a little bit of a distortion where the side of her face would be, but that would happen anyways, and I love how she is. Okay, now I have to figure out where I want her on the page, because I want to have enough room at the top to do stuff, but I don't want, like, if I smoosh her right to the bottom of the page, it is gonna feel very weird. So I wanna give her just a little bit of room to breathe. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right down the middle of her and put this on where I want it. Okay, so she is, uh-oh, darn it, that's okay. See, that's delicate. And there is no problem with that. I'm gonna be doing stuff with that later. You never have to worry you mess something up. It's collage. So there's a million things gonna happen in order after this. Okay. So there we go, she's stuck. I can get under her hat. She's stuck down here. Now this, I want to be this bottom edge, and I think I can get it stuck. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go along this bottom and not stick the points and see what happens. Because I may want to glue, I think I'm gonna glue down, since I'm sticking down this bottom, I'm just gonna glue down the bottom of her, right? Because I don't want it to get awkward later. Boop. All right. So the bottom of hers glued down, and now we can put our, feel really good about putting this here. All right. And the edge of my page is quite a ways over, which is fine. I want to see how her shoulder is cut off. I want to get that right to that shoulder. I want to get this down in the spine of the book. And I want this here. I'm fine with this being an edge, but I didn't want this to be an edge, so this is the perfect place to put my other ring, which is going to be a vase now, or going to be a planter kind of thing. And this is what's going to happen with this. Because it's a repeating element in our composition, so I want it somewhat aligned with that, because there's a natural alignment to that here. It would look very weird to me if it was totally offset. That may be your look that you're going for, is more of a jarring look, but I'm looking for, like, especially my main pieces to be congruous rather than incongruous. All right, and at this point too, I can go ahead and I just tear these off. So I can get an idea where the edge of my paper is. Now sometimes where the tissue paper has gone over it, you kind of have to cut it. And I'm going to go all the way around, and that way for the next step I will kind of know where my edges are. The only reason I care about this at all, and these are stuck together, is because here, I don't know where the actual edges are. Okay, I consider today a success because I successfully did not glue my entire page to itself, which I have done before. So now, looking at this, I mean, we have lots of texture in the back. We have different colors, we have stuff, but I like to have circles. I just like circles. So I brought out 2 colors of blue. So I don't want to make circles that are going to be in your face, because we have a lot of stuff going on this page. So I don't want it to be crazy busy with circles, but I also want something interesting in the background. So this is just acrylic paint from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I have 2 sizes of circles. I have little circles and big circles. So I'm going to put my little circles in the middle, and see how I went back and I darkened the edges, and the middle is going to be light, so we're going to put light circles in the middle, and the outside's going to be dark, so we're going to put dark circles on the dark. And I'll just dab this on, get a little bit of paint. And there's some circles, yay. And what you want to make sure to do is there's a human tendency to make these, like, to make this a section, to make this a section, and your collage will look better if you overlap things a lot, more than you think you would. Okay, here's a good place for some circles. So this is very, did I glue her down? Oh, I might have glued her down. Okay, we're gonna have to cheat to get some circles on here, but I want to break up this harsh edge right there my circles got a little wonky, but that's fine. And then I think she can, we'll get some up here, we'll get some over here. I'm just trying to get a different color, right? I'm trying to get some pretty color up in here. I don't like how my circles came out. I want them to be cleaner, so I just smudged that. There we go, better circles. And so you can't do this wrong, right? Like, do not get yourself all twisted if your circles get smudgy or whatever, because nobody's ever, like, I'm putting a ton of flowers and stuff on this. Nobody's probably ever gonna see these circles, and if they did see them, they wouldn't know that they were smudged wrong, right? That's only you. You're the only one judging your circles. So stop judging your circles. All right. Now I could have done some, while the brown paint's still sitting here, I could have done brown circles, but I'm going to be doing lots of dark stuff. So I want to, and I could do brown circles because I already have brown in it, right? All my special things are gold and metal and pink and red. So any of my background could be blue or brown. Those are the two colors that I would really go ahead and use in my background at this point. Because if I use any other colors, it's going to get too busy, and then the background is going to compete with the actual artwork, which is this lady and the stuff going on over here and things like that. All right. Oh. Don't forget, paint will glue your stuff together. So, where's our knife? Got to use our knife to hold that up. And do I want dark circles anywhere else? Maybe a smidge. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I like how that one's fat. And there's a fat one over here. So, this is a good layer. Okay, what do we think? Oh, we gotta do it. We need to break this up somehow, because that is very straight across. And my circle-y thing is very, so I have a lot of paint on there. So what I wanna do is scrape off her poor face is the only thing that's clean right this second. So I'm going to scrape this off. I want to get a little bit of paint. I want to turn my stencil a different way. And then, there we go. Oh, that's good. That did good. Oh, there we go. Okay, that breaks things up. Okay, so that's it for this layer. Nothing too exciting. Okay, so as to not make this a feature-length video, I went ahead and spent about an hour putting all kinds of things down. You'll notice I have, let's start at the top right, I have flowers in her crown. I put that heavy floral flower thing at the bottom right. I added the long piece of metal on the left and filled her flowers, and I did wind up using those little peppers as kind of the stamen popping out of the flowers. I thought about like recording that whole thing for you, but because we're not going to be having the same things anytime ever, I thought it would be ridiculous to have you watch me place things for an hour. If you decide you would like to watch me figure out how to put stuff into a collage, just comment below and I will make a video just about that, and that way this video won't be so long. Okay, here's a slick trick that we're going to do. I used a Posca pen, P-O-S-C-O pen, or P-O-S-C-A pen. I'll put a link to it, to outline the whole lady all around her. I did not outline any different parts of her because I want her to feel like one whole thing. Her sunglasses, her crown, the flowers in her. I want that to feel like it's on one level. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see I outlined the flowers. I even went inside of some of them because in the next step, we're going to go and add highlighting and shadows to those. You see I outlined around all the peppers, around the mushrooms, around the gold things, that little gold medallion at the front of the bowl. All of those things, I don't need them to feel like one piece, where I want the lady to be the strongest, brightest thing and to feel like one piece. All right. Now comes my absolute favorite part of any project, because this makes it look real. Okay, so the two that we just talked about were, we did the sticking on of everything, and sorry I couldn't show you that. I mean, it took an hour to figure everything out. And then outlining everything. So see, I outlined the more detail over here, right? Because this is going to be darker, this is going to go back. Anything that you make darker goes back. And this is our main focal point, so she's going to be light and bright and not have as much shading on her. Okay, so this is a Acrylic I'm sure that's not it. Stabilo pencil 8046, and I'm going to show you right here what happens. So it's like a pencil. And then, I can't find my regular water pen, but most of the time I use these. I either use like a white, these are Arteza water real brush pens. This is smoke gray, and this is ice blue. That does not look like ice blue. Okay, but what happens is when you activate that Stabilo pen, you can move it around, pencil, you can move it around, and it makes a dark edge on everything. So I want a little bit of light in the middle, but see how that darkened that up? This is going to let us make a dark edge around this whole thing. And I'm not going to make you watch this in nauseam, but I probably will record it and speed it up because this is super fun. And like I said, it's my favorite part, and it really sells the idea of all these different things going together. Once you get it all dark, it will look like it should be that way. All right, so this is going to be my last official layer. I may do some doodling or stuff after this, but cut back on my focal point. And now I am going to grab one of these blending brush tools, and even with acrylic paint, you can use this over and over and over again. You can see it's starting to decompose, but it still works. And now I want to put some dark colors in. And the cool thing about this is I feel like I have like a really sharp line here, and I want to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is get a little bit of black on here. And I'm going to come right along there and kind of blend that out. See? And that sharp line is now gone. And we can make this line, let's see, how can we get that? We may have to come back to that one. But I can get that line to go away. I want a little bit of black over here. And this goes back to making this seem cohesive. I went over part of this, and I'm gonna come down here, and this is gonna get some, right? And this is all gonna help these elements blend together. Oh, see that is great. Okay, let's see what we can do up here now that this is. Oh, that's good. Okay, we're gonna have to get off our focal point, lady. Now, I am gonna leave the majority of this open or do it lighter, right? So remember, our dark is on the outside, our light is on the inside, so I don't want to do a ton of darkness here, although I do think I want it to come over and blend that in. Oh, that's much better. All right, we need a little bit over here on this. There we go. Okay, so that's good. I'll probably do some more dark blending. And now, so could I do this with Distress? Could I do it with something else? Yes, but I like to have so many multiple layers that I have to have permanent. And this is just acrylic paint. And so I can do layer upon layer upon layer because every layer's permanent and nothing is going to get messed up because I'm adding more layers, right? If I was doing this with Distress or anything like that, as I added more and more layers, I would get, like, it would bleed. Now, the only thing that does still move, if I were to go back in now, I could move around the black that's on the edge that is the Stabilo pencil. That continues to move, and there's not really much I can do about that. What I do with that, though, is if I'm going to, I don't always go over and put a final coat on it, but if I was going to do a final coat of anything, I would start in the middle and work out so that when it got to the pencil part, it would not mess it up. And here you can see some of the paint layers are raised. So that is going to take a little while to dry, but I think we're mostly done here. Like now if I were to do more, I would just be overworking it as opposed to making it prettier. So we're going to call this one done. And here she is, totally done. I love the way she turned out. I think she looks cool and grungy, and in real life she looks really vibrant and pretty. Now, I do get questions a lot about what do you do with all these pictures that you make in your journals. And I post them on the internet. I do process videos, or I show people how to do it. And then I just save them because they're art and they're for me and they're about a time in my life and they're about a place I was when I did this. If I look at this and I look at some of my very first collages, I think how far I've come. One thing I will go ahead and do after I finish recording this is sign it and put the date on it so that I haven't been good about that in the past, but I'm going to be a lot better about it going forward so that I can know, what date, what time, what was going on in this picture. So hopefully this has helped. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life.